The state capitol tonight, Missouri Governor Mike Kehoe out of state interest groups bought your vote. He claims that influence swayed voters to say yes to paid sick leave and more under Proposition A last November. Missouri Capitol reporter Hannah Falcon is digging through documents to find out who is behind the campaign donations.
After he signed a new law overturning paid sick leave promised in Proposition A, we asked Governor Mike Kehoe why he went against the will of the voters. He responded.
Proposition A was put together by several $1 million of outstate interest. There was nobody in Missouri who brought that bill to the ballot. It was bought and put on our ballot.
So I combed through these campaign finance records for Missourians for Healthy Families and Fair Wages. That's the group that put Proposition A on the ballot. They raised quite a bit of money, for over $6.5 million. But I found that more than half of it came from one source, the 1630 Fund. Of the campaign's top 3 donors, 2 are Missouri-based organizations. But the Washington, D.C.-based 1630 Fund donated more than the rest combined, at more than $3.5 million. This left-leaning group is based out of Washington, D.C., but is known to receive funding from a Swiss billionaire. The 1630 Fund did not immediately respond to my questions about their donations to Missouri.
It kind of makes the paper trail a little bit hard to follow.
St. Louis University political science professor Steve Rogers tells me groups like 1630 can funnel money into causes across the country without disclosing their own funding sources.
But overall, I think citizens probably do want transparency, and this makes things a little bit less positive in politics.
Do they actually influence the results that we see at the ballot?
So I would say that money does have an influence within elections.
The man behind Proposition A, Richard Von Glan, defends his campaign. He tells me, quote, Prop A was Missouri-born, supported by Missourians, and passed by Missourians, citing the thousands of Missourians who worked on the campaign and voted in favor of it. Reporting in Jefferson City, I'm Hannah Falcon, First Alert 4.